What's going on, Exile? Welcome to a low life Righteous Fire Chieftain that uses Blade Vortex as well for the tougher bosses, and it works wonders. You have timestamps and path of building links in the description if needed. I used the life version of the build until level 75 or so. That's when I switched over to Energy Shield. So if you prefer going for the life version instead, then just copy the level 70 tree that I have included in the skill tree and Ascendancy section of the video and continue from there. It's a pretty beefy character with quite a bit of chaos resistance, so it works great for going deep in the delves. The Shaper and his guardians were all very easy, so you can definitely put them on farm mode with this character. Even the Lich, which you can see on the screen right now, was quite easy to deal with as well. The build does require some currency, and the reason I went for low life was to squeeze out that extra bit of damage. But anyway, let's go have a look at all of the items that I use for this character. The unique items that I use for this build include the Chevron's wrappings. And the reason I use this chest is so that chaos damage cannot bypass my energy shield. This is 100% needed for this build to work. Then I use a Presence of Chayula amulet to convert 20% of my maximum life into energy shield, so that's about 1200 more energy shield that I get from that. You also get 60% chaos resistance and become immune to stuns. Then I use a Mark of the Shaper ring with 10% increased maximum energy shield, and also made sure my other ring was an Elder ring to get about 75% or so increased spell damage. Lastly, I also used a fluid motion jewel because of all the dexterity the build requires, and placed that jewel where you can see on the screen right now. For rares, these are the stats that you're looking for. You get a lot of fire resistance from the Ascendancy, so you can focus mainly on life and the other resistances. Just make sure that in the end the fire res is still the highest, so we can take full advantage from the Wise Oak Flask. Like I mentioned before, you want an Elder rare ring for the spell damage bonus from the Mark of the Shaper ring, and you also want to make sure that this ring curses enemies with Warlord's Mark on hit for the mana and life leech especially. I also use an Elder helm that supports socketed gems with concentrated effect and burning damage. However, this is definitely not needed, as it's only there to increase your Righteous Fire damage, while most of your damage comes from Blade Vortex anyway. For Flasks, I use a Damage Flask with immune to curses. I use a Wise Oak, a Ruby Flask with immune to bleeding, used a Ruby's Concoction, and a Quicksilver Flask with immune to freeze. In my main gem setup I used Blade Vortex, and with Blade Vortex I used added fire damage, combustion, concentrated effect, controlled destruction, and fire penetration. And then in my helm, where I have my Righteous Fire, I have Vaal Righteous Fire, Efficacy, Increased Area of Effect, and Elemental Focus. In my gloves I have some of my auras, and it's Purity of Fire, Discipline, Enlighten, and Empower. And you want level 3 Enlighten and level 3 Empower. And if possible you want a level 21 Purity of Fire. And then in my boots I use the rest of my auras, and they are Herald of Purity, Herald of Ash, and then I have Blood Magic with that. And then on its own, not connected to the others, I have Ancestral Protector just for the life leech. And in my weapon I have Shield Charge, and with that I have faster attacks and Fortify. And in my offhand I have Summon Stone Golem, and then I have Frostbomb connected with Arcane Surge level 2. For skills, these are the progressions that I went with. Basically you want to stack as many life regeneration and life nodes as possible, and then around level 75 I switch from life to energy shield. That's also when I picked up Zealot's Oath, so my life regeneration now applies to energy shield instead. I also picked up Ghost Reaver, so all of my life leech now applies to my energy shield as well. I went for Elemental Overload for the increased elemental damage, and then Avatar of Fire to turn all of my damage into fire damage. Lastly, if you don't feel confident fighting in the dark, like the League of Shadows, then you might also want to pick up Arcane Vision, so that light radius is based on energy shield instead of life. For Ascendancy I went for Flames Advance for the fire conversion and fire penetration. Then I picked up Forest Strength and Sun's Light for the fire resistance and life regeneration. It's also at this point I really started using Righteous Fire all the time. Lastly I picked up Death's Fury for the strength, life leech, and a chance to cover enemies in ash. Covering enemies in ash means they are slowed and take 20% increased fire damage. For Pantheon, I went for Soul of Arakali as melee god for the reduced damage taken from damage over time. I also made sure to capture Arachnoxia for increased recovery rate of my energy shield. For minor god you can use either Soul of Tukahama or Soul of Abarath. Just make sure that if you go for Tukahama you need to capture Tassin for the extra life regeneration. For bandits either help Oak or kill them all. For leveling, I more or less always recommend using a Tabula Rasa if possible. I leveled with Frostbolt from level 1 and used that until level 24, and that's when I switched over to Blade Vortex. I also equipped a Markup Submission Ring and put a Warlord's Mark skill gem in it at this point. For the later levels I used the Rise of the Phoenix shield until I had enough life regeneration to sustain Righteous Fire without it. Other uniques I used while leveling include 2 Lifesprig wands, the Nocturnal Caress gloves, the Astronaut's Mark circlet, and the Wanderlust boots. The main positives of the build is the pure fact that you can farm bosses quite easy. It's a good all-around character and it's very suitable for going deep in the delve. The main negative of the build is definitely that there's quite a few map mods that are annoying. You cannot use Blade Vortex for elemental reflect mods, and you cannot use Righteous Fire for negative resistance and no regeneration maps. Overall a very enjoyable character that definitely belongs in boss encounters and the delve. I hope you enjoyed the build and the video, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. I'll see you around, Exiles.